Stuck in the Middle with You. Chapter 1, written by Sam is My Safe Word. Chapter 2, written by Dara Lee Starscream. Chapter 3, written by Jinkies, Would You Look at This? Narrated by Tall Tales and Bedtime Stories. Chapter 1, Clowns to the Left of Me. Oakland, Iowa, 2005. So get this, Dean. Turns out every source I've looked at says you need a copper blade for a mimic. Sam's voice rings out from the passenger seat where he spent the last hour or so with his head in various books, flashlight in hand with a glare on his face. So, get this, Samantha. I cut its head into 4 bits. I don't think anything survives that. Dean glances over to see Sam's scowl deepen. And anyway, we don't have a copper blade. We have a bronze blade. I'm working with the tools I've got here. But bronze is 12% tin, Dean. What if we meet something that needs pure copper? Then we'll do 12% more cutting. Big deal. Dean, look, I know you've been out of the game for a few years now, living it up in Apple Pie Valley. But I've been here, boots on the ground, learning the trade. Dean sighs. A copper blade is on my list to get hold of. But it'll take a while and more money than we have right now. We had bronze, so I worked with what we had. I'm sorry it wasn't book perfect, but the thing is dead. So can we leave it now? Sam nods and turns away. He closes the book on his lap and switches off the flashlight. They haven't been back on the road long, and Stanford is still sitting uneasy in the rearview mirror. It isn't that he doesn't expect Dean to fight him about doing things by the book versus winging them, but he wasn't expecting college to be thrown in his face while they were still fleeing town. As the person who was always on research duty when they were kids, sticking to the lore is imprinted on his mind. Getting something wrong could have caused Dad and Dean their lives, especially when he was going off snippets of information barked down phone lines. He checked and triple-checked his information before passing it on. Pre-law had only reinforced that in him. If it wasn't written down, it didn't happen. And if it didn't happen, you couldn't prove it. And if you couldn't prove it, you couldn't use it. But Dean was right. He'd been hunting on his own for a while now, and had clearly picked up some tricks when time was a factor. Sam coming in and thinking he could lay down the law about the lore was absurd. And money was a factor, too. Sam had never been loaded in college, but between his scholarships and whatever part-time jobs he could pick up, he'd done okay. He wasn't buying ribeye, but he wasn't living on instant ramen either. Coming back on the road with Dean, it was a shock. He'd known they were poor growing up, but it didn't hit him how much they still were until he saw Dean counting out coins for coffee one morning. All right, I'm beat. I think we're far enough away to be safe now. Let's stop for the night. Dean pulls off into a rest stop. Wait, what? Why are you stopping here? We just passed a motel like 10 minutes ago. Dean coughs awkwardly. Well, baby needed oil, and I had to buy the good stuff, Sammy, and I don't have enough left for a room tonight. Are you kidding me right now? You spent our motel money on the damn car? She needed oil. It's a car, Dean. Don't listen to him, baby. No, it can listen to me breaking my back all night because you forced us to sleep in the fucking car. You want the front or the back? Sam gets out without another word, dumping his books in the trunk before climbing into the back seat. He kicks his boots off into the footwell and tries to fold his body to fit on the bench seat. In the front, he can hear Dean doing the same. The car rocks back and forth for a few minutes until they both find tolerable positions. Night, Sammy. Dean's voice is quiet, almost shy. Night, Dean. He hears Dean's soft sigh of relief, followed by a quiet curse as he hits his knees on the steering wheel. Sam sits up and wrestles off his hoodie before throwing it in the front seat and lying back quickly. Sam? Put it over the steering wheel so you don't hurt your legs. More shuffling as Dean does as he suggests and then lies back down. Thanks. Good night. Night. Chapter 2. Jokers to the Right. Outside St. Louis, Missouri, 2013. St. Louis sits on the horizon, a dirty smear against a bright August sky. It's shipment day, when they pick up packages at the distribution center off I-70. Dean drops the box on the motel room bed. Okay, he says, clapping his hands and rubbing them together like he's a pirate over a treasure chest. Let's see what goodies we got. Seriously? It must have come out sharper than Sam intended. Dean's shoulders stiffen and he opens the box without another word. Until he pulls out a pink gift bag with silver ribbon handles. Seriously? Seriously? What, you're part of their frequent buyers club now? Give me that. Sam snatches the pink bag and pulls the top open, praying it isn't what he thinks it is. Sometimes God's answer is no. The bottles of Kerastase shampoo and conditioner stare back at him. On top of everything else. Dean says as he dumps the rest of the box's contents on his bed, "Did you grow some actual girl parts while I was gone?" Says the guy who spends $50 on car wax and $100 on polishing cloths. Sam says as he recognizes the cans. And fuck you very much for not keeping up her top coat, Sammy. I'm gonna be buffing all goddamn day. Son of a bitch. That frou-frou shampoo poo costs how much? No, like you don't dunk your head in a bucket of gel after every shower. At least whatever you're using now doesn't smell like strawberries. Where did you get that crap? The back aisle of Walgreens? Dean's mouth clamps shut. Without another word, he grabs the wax and marches outside, slamming the motel room door hard enough to rock the walls. Fine. Let him work out his snit by petting the car. Sam tucks the shampoo and cream rinse into his rucksack. Some luxuries he could live without, like movie trips and bookstore shopping and permanent addresses. The hair's not a luxury. It's a rebellion, however small, against his AJ squared-away father and his buzz cuts. Against this fucking life that refuses to leave him alone. Back to work. Opening his laptop, Sam goes through his usual bookmarks and message boards. Please, God, let there be a case. Something. Anything. More than 5 minutes with nothing to do put them right back at each other's throats. No luck. The forces of evil pick some damn inconvenient times to go on vacation. Sam sighs to himself, stretching his shoulders and rolling tension out of his neck. A thought occurs to him. Some keyword searches and he finds the brand of gel he'd found buried deep in Dean's ruck one night after Dean left on a date. Unscented. Huh. Then where had that strawberry smell come from? Dean had dragged it around like a stink cloud every night when he got back from those dates, dressed in last year's clothes and wearing... A memory pierces him and Sam feels his eyes go wide. Dean in the doorway, shivering in the cold in his too small clothes. Someone else speaking, low and deep despite Dean's violent shushing. A big shadow in a big winter coat enveloping Dean in an embrace, too handsy to be called a hug. Sam snaps his laptop shut. False memory. Has to be. Besides, Dean did sort of have a point about the car. Sam trades his shirt for an old tank top and grabs a six-pack from the motel room's refrigerator. Outside, Dean's crouched low and polishing the front fender, music playing from his phone. Sam grabs a rag. Pass me the wax. I got this. Go find us a case. Already looked. Everything's quiet. And people all out being fine. Sam glares at the back of Dean's head. Something you want to say to me, Dean? Nothing. Dean holds up the open can and Sam snatches it out of his hand. I don't get it. Sam says as he squats to work on the driver's side door. You get your hair gel at the 99-cent store, but you'll drop $50 on a can of wax. Car's worth more than me. Dean grunts. You want to help? Shut up and help. Otherwise get lost. Sam bends to work. Another detail of that false memory pops up. The shine on Dean's mouth that looked like lip gloss. Right. That David Bowie punk phase Dean went through when he was 15 or so. The winter Dad left them in a drafty old house during a hard winter freeze for 2 weeks that somehow stretched to 6. Money had been tight. He did remember that. Until Dean got a job schlepping crates at a meatpacking plant. Sam can still remember trudging through the snow in last year's shoes, dressed in 3 layers of sweatshirts plus Dean's hand-me-down winter coat. To celebrate Dean's first payday, they'd stuffed themselves at an all-you-can-eat buffet and gone shopping for winter clothes. It'd been the first time Sam had felt warm in weeks. Did you get that strawberry ship because your job made you stink? Sam asks. What are you talking about? That winter, when we were holed up in... Oh yeah, the warehouse's soap all smelled like that. Sam put his rag down. You know, I don't believe you. Well, what can I tell you, Sammy? Better strawberries than hog guts. I remember when you came home one night. I saw your date. When Dean doesn't say anything, Sam says, Dude, if you were out on a date with a guy, you didn't need to hide it from me. I wouldn't have breathed a word to Dad. The car door slams and Sam's words disappear under the engine dialing fire. Or anyone. Gravel sprays Sam as Dean throws the car into reverse. By the time he's finished dusting himself off, Dean's gone. Chapter 3. Here I Am. Wells, Nevada, 2019. It's a little after 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Friday. Al's diner is busy, but far from max capacity. Sam and Dean are sitting in a booth along the wall to the left of the entrance, bright sunshine cutting in through the slightly tinted window and lighting up the napkin holder and salt and pepper shakers on the table. Sam has his laptop open and turns slightly in an effort to minimize the glare. So, get this. 5 skeletons have been found in a park in Lincoln, all stripped perfectly clean, but estimated to be fresh. He scrunches up his nose and glances up from the screen, checking to see if anyone is looking in his direction. Across the table, Dean groans and sits his half-eaten burger back down on his plate. Lincoln, Nebraska? That's a full day's drive behind us. Game's the day after tomorrow. If we turn around now, we'll miss it. Sam's eyebrows rise. Dean, 5 people have died. Don't you think that's a little more important than a baseball game? Dean wipes his hands together, brushing off crumbs, and then reaches into his jacket pocket and pulls out 2 tickets. Do you have any idea how much these cost? He asks, holding them up between them. They didn't cost us anything. You took them from a dead guy. Sam's voice pitches up into little brother incredulity the way it still sometimes can when Dean's being particularly Deanish. Technically, he was an undead guy when we found him. Dean points out. Well, he was a dead undead guy when we left him. So? Field club seats, Sam. To the Giants versus the Yankees at Oracle Park. These go for like $500 each. So some guy spends $1,000 on seats to a baseball game, and that means we just ignore that something is separating people from... A teenaged boy wearing a backwards ball cap and a grubby apron that looks like it hasn't seen bleach since it was made, sets his bus tub down in the booth behind Dean and starts noisily clearing the table. Sam leans down over the table towards his brother and finishes quietly. They're skeletons? Dean takes an anguished breath and looks at the tickets in his hand. A long moment passes as the busboy finishes and trudges off toward the kitchen. When he's gone, Dean waves the tickets a little. You know how much Dad would have loved to see this game. Sam nods. Yeah. but he also wouldn't pass up a hunt. Dean scowls, tapping the tickets on the table. He really hated the Yankees. I know. Sam concedes. Damn it. Any idea who the victims were? Sam hums an inquisitive hum to himself and clicks around on his computer for a moment. Looks like they've only had time to search for the dental records of the first two. No hits on one, but the other was an administrative assistant from Omaha. Caitlin Brush, 33, single, no kids, Methodist. Judging by the other bones found, all the Vicks have been adults so far. But here. Sam turns the laptop around so Dean can see the screen. Just piles of perfectly stripped bones that, according to several of these reports, smelled faintly of vomit. A Strix? Dean guesses. Yep. Shit. I haven't heard of any of those since Dad cleared out that nest of them back in '97. That was in Iowa. It's not a question, but Sam still nods in confirmation as he turns his laptop back towards himself. Yeah, that was over near Red Oak, I think. That's only a few hours from Lincoln. Think Dad missed one? Dean grunts something that feels like a maybe to Sam. After a moment, he sets the tickets down, picks his burger back up and finishes it off in 3 large bites, chewing with his mouth half open. Sam rolls his eyes as he goes back to reading a police report. Still chewing the last bite of burger, Dean stands up, pulling his wallet out of his pocket. As he drops several bills next to the tickets on the table, he says, "Come on, that Strix isn't going to get full anytime soon, and the last thing we need is it nesting." Sam snaps the screen closed on his computer and scoops it up. He points at the table. "Hey, if we're quick, maybe we can still make the game?" No. Knowing our luck, something else will come up. Better leave them for someone who can actually use them. Besides, the Yankees will probably win, and then we'd have to get mad. For Dad's sake. Sam nods. Yep. Dean sighs. Hey, I gotta hit the head. Meet you at the car in 2. Dean walks off towards the back while Sam waits for the busboy to pass him before he stands up. He couldn't see it before, but now that he's behind the kid, he can't miss the Yankees logo on his hat. Sam smiles as he makes his way out of the diner to where the car is parked, half shaded by a tree. When Dean comes out a few minutes later, he finds Sam using an old t-shirt to buff a spot on the hood. Hey, easy on the finish. I just waxed her. Sam steps back and looks appraisingly at the car. You missed a spot. Dean huffs indignantly. I didn't miss a spot. You missed a spot. On your face. Baby's doors squeak and slam shut in unison as they get in and get settled. Dude, what does that even mean? Shut up. Dean snaps as the car roars to life, but there isn't any heat behind his words, and they're both smiling as they pull out of the parking lot, heading east